The Philippines presents a fascinating case study in the interplay of politics and economics. The archipelago nation, known for its vibrant culture and resilient people, has long grappled with the challenge of translating its economic potential into widespread prosperity. At the heart of this challenge lies the undeniable influence of politics on the country's economic trajectory. From investor confidence to infrastructure development, the political landscape casts a long shadow on the Philippine economy. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for deciphering the country's economic prospects. Political stability, or the lack thereof, plays a pivotal role in shaping the environment for businesses and investors. Policy decisions often made in the halls of power can either propel or hinder economic growth. And the specter of corruption, a persistent concern in Philippine politics, adds another layer of complexity to the economic equation. This essay delves into the multifaceted relationship between politics and economics in the Philippines. It examines how political stability, or the lack of it, impacts investor confidence and economic growth. It explores the consequences of inconsistent economic policies adopted by successive administrations. The essay also sheds light on the corrosive effects of corruption on foreign investment and economic development. Finally, it analyzes the role of political decisions in shaping infrastructure development and their subsequent impact on economic activity. By understanding these intricate connections, we can gain a clearer picture of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for the Philippine economy. The path to sustainable and inclusive growth requires navigating the political tightrope with prudence, transparency, and a commitment to the long-term well-being of the nation. Political stability is the bedrock upon which economic progress is built. For the Philippines, however, this bedrock has often felt more like shifting sands. Frequent changes in leadership, coupled with occasional political upheavals, have created an environment of uncertainty that can make investors think twice. Businesses thrive on predictability. When the political landscape is in flux, it injects a degree of risk that can deter both domestic and foreign investment. Long-term projects may be put on hold, capital flight can occur, and the overall business climate can suffer. This is not to say that the Philippines is in a perpetual state of political turmoil, but the perception of instability can be just as damaging as the reality. The Philippines has made strides in recent years to strengthen its democratic institutions and promote a more stable political environment. However, the legacy of past instability lingers, and even the perception of political risk can have a chilling effect on economic activity. Building and maintaining a reputation for political stability is an ongoing process, one that requires a commitment to the rule of law, good governance, and transparency. Addressing social inequalities and promoting inclusive growth are also crucial in this regard. When a significant portion of the population feels marginalized or excluded from the economic mainstream, it can create fertile ground for political instability. The Philippines, with its stark income disparities, must address this challenge head-on to secure a more stable and prosperous future. One of the hallmarks of a stable and predictable business environment is policy consistency. Unfortunately, the Philippines has often struggled in this area, particularly when it comes to economic policies. Each new administration brings with it its own set of priorities, economic philosophies, and approaches to development. While change can be a catalyst for progress, frequent and drastic policy shifts can create confusion and uncertainty for businesses. A new government may come in and reverse course on a major infrastructure project, alter tax incentives, or introduce new regulations that disrupt existing business models. This lack of continuity can make it challenging for businesses to plan for the long term and can dampen investor confidence. The Philippines has experimented with a wide range of economic models over the years, from import substitution to export-oriented growth. While each approach has had its merits and drawbacks, the lack of a consistent, long-term economic strategy has hindered the country's ability to achieve sustained and inclusive growth. What is needed is a bipartisan consensus on the broad strokes of economic policy, one that transcends political cycles and provides businesses with the predictability they crave. This does not mean that there should be no room for policy adjustments or refinements. But such changes should be made in a transparent and consultative manner, with input from all stakeholders, including the business community. Corruption is a cancer that eats away at the very fabric of society. It undermines the rule of law, erodes public trust, and stifles economic growth. For the Philippines, corruption has been a persistent challenge, one that has tarnished the country's image and hindered its development potential. When businesses perceive a high level of corruption, they are less likely to invest. Why? Because corruption adds an additional layer of cost and uncertainty to doing business. Bribes may be required to secure permits or licenses, contracts may be awarded based on patronage rather than merit, and businesses operating in a corrupt environment may find themselves at a competitive disadvantage. The costs of corruption go far beyond lost investment. It also diverts scarce resources away from essential public services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. When public funds are siphoned off through graft, it is the most vulnerable segments of society that suffer the most. The Philippines has made some progress in recent years in combating corruption. The government has established anti-corruption agencies, strengthened legal frameworks, and promoted transparency initiatives. However, much more needs to be done. Addressing deeply entrenched systems of patronage and impunity will require a sustained and multifaceted effort, one that involves not just the government, but also civil society, the private sector, and ordinary citizens.